welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. Well, let's talk about the Radiance. Alright, so first off, I do want to say hi to a couple people. I met a lot of people on the Radiance. It was so much fun. As you know, I travel solo a lot, but first person I met was in the elevator in the parking garage before I even boarded the ship. And that was Blanca. So hello, Blanca. And it was so lovely meeting you and your family and your friends. And it was just super fun to talk to you. And hopefully I will see you on a ship again. Another person I met was Stephen Pong. I believe that's his last name. Get his card. Gave me his card because he is a YouTuber. Yes, Stephen Pong. And he is a YouTuber and he's building up his channel. And I'll link his channel below, either here or somewhere. And I saw his first video last night that he put out. And he's never been on Carnival. So if you want like a first time Carnival cruiser experience and what they thought, I'm gonna go ahead and check out his channel. He does Royal Caribbean. I think he said they'd come off like a back-to-back on Royal, like a 7 and a 3 day. I may be wrong about that, but anyway, it was him and his dad, and it was funny because his dad was walking around. Not funny, but his dad was walking around, and I was like, oh, that looks like kind of like my GoPro setup, and the one I used to use, and I asked him, I said, oh, you YouTubing? And he said, oh no, my son is, I'm doing all the B-roll. And I was like, that's fantastic. He has a B-roll person. So anyway, I met Steven and his dad and they were both lovely. Ran into them again at, I think, breakfast, like C-Day breakfast. I saw them and I just said hi real quick. But anyway, go ahead, you can link to their channel below. The link to their channel or his channel is below. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, my big thing of going on a cruise is the food. All right, so I regret not going to the dining room. I really do. But the fact that it's close here, I didn't feel like it was going to be too much of an issue because I could always jump on later, right? I mean, it's pretty close. Pricing is really good. As long as the pricing stays pretty well for like a short cruise, I think that'll be really good. So I can run down there and do it. Jump on the ship, you know. I'd love to do like a back-to-back just so you have like more of a 7-day experience. And maybe I would get more out of it. So kind of wish I would have done that, but I needed to get back. And I'd, not taken I had a few work days left. Anyway, for the food, my favorite really was the big chicken. I know people were talking the hype about it. It actually is really good. It's seasoned really well. The fries are the kind of fries I like, kind of like thin wedges. They were just really good. And what I did with the breakfast, because I am a breakfast girl, I actually got the egg, and you could either get bacon or sausage, I think. You get bacon or sausage, and one day I did the bacon, one day I did the sausage, and then I just got a piece of the chicken on the side, and I cut it in half, and I put it on the sandwich. Because there's another one where it has the chicken on it, and I think it's just a chicken and biscuit and cheese. And I wanted egg, and I guess I could have done that and then put the egg on it. I don't know. But anyway, I did that, and oh, they were so good. Then I went to Blue Iguana Cantina and got their salsa and put it on. Somebody else told me they asked in the morning if they could get the sauce in the morning for their breakfast sandwich, and they were told no, that only comes out at lunchtime. I don't know why they would have done that. I really think they should have just had a couple sauces out there. It's just my opinion. But, I mean, maybe they'll think about that for the future. But I went and got the salsa because I like salsa on all my food, and so it worked out perfectly for me. Well, that's what I did. And while I was there, I picked up a breakfast burrito, which is always good. You don't even have to talk about the Blue Iguana breakfast burritos; they're just good. What was the other thing? Oh, it did come with cheese, but I don't eat. I just don't like a lot of cheese, so I didn't get any cheese on mine. But I'm sure it was even fabulous with that. Let's see. C Day breakfast was actually, or C Day brunch was actually really good. They had a lot of good variety in there. Let's see what else. I did hit the Guy's Burgers, which I'm not a huge fan of Guy's Burgers, but after tequila tasting, it was amazing. And I didn't have to wait. They actually had burgers there that didn't have cheese on it. I've gone on some ships where they literally had to go back and make me a patty because they didn't have any with no cheese. But they had some with no cheese. And so I was able to get in and out really fast. Didn't get any fries or anything. I don't really care for their fries. And then I can't even remember what else was there. But anyway, I just got the burger. You saw it in the vlogs. The burger, and then I went to the buffet. Now I have to say with the buffet, I wasn't much of a fan. And for this size of a ship, because I've been on the Splendor, been on the, the bigger ships that are maybe more in comparison, it just seemed like that buffet was the size for the Imagination. Maybe that's why I keep thinking of the Imagination. It was literally just in the center, but they had 4 stations, so you could come this way, 2 this way, and then 2 lines that way. But it was very few options. I mean, and I don't want to say that that's trying not to be wasteful, but and they had a salad bar off to the side, and they had a little bit of fruit, and they had some desserts off to the side, and they had like a little bit of bread. But the main options, there just wasn't that much. And I was quite disappointed. And what I did get, I didn't really care for. I don't know, it was lacking in some flavor, a little bit of flavor. So I didn't really care for the buffet. So I didn't go there that often. I think I got maybe the first day. Don't remember. And then that one evening when I got the Guy's Burger, I got some mashed potatoes and a little bit of fish. And then the first night of Sail Away, that's when I got it as well, and I wasn't happy at all. It was like roast beef, and it just wasn't very pleasing. So I wasn't happy with the buffet. Breakfast, you really can't mess up breakfast in the buffet. I mean, you got like French toast and pancakes and eggs and sausage, potatoes and stuff like that. That was all fine. I mean, it's breakfast stuff. You can't do too bad with that. But I still hit big chicken because that seemed to like really satisfy me, and then the burritos, of course. So those are the options, of course. And then of course C Day brunch on those days. That's what I thought about the food. I think the best food I had was actually, I've never been and I'm totally gonna butcher this, is Casina del Capitano. I mean, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, but it's probably Cucina. But I always want to say cochina, and that's not right because that's Spanish, and that's dirty. So anyway, the food was, I don't want to say it's the best I've had on a ship, thinking back, but it was pretty darn good. It was pretty darn good. And the bread was probably the best I've ever had. It was so soft and warm, and there was like 6 little rolls in the little container, and I think I had 4 of them with butter. And I asked for more butter. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And the food was good. Everything was good. The shrimp was good. The vegetables were good. Everything was really, really on par with just like an elevated meal. So it was really good. I have been to the steakhouse in the past, so I didn't go to the steakhouse. And the reason for that is because I don't believe that the steakhouse, you can get the exact same steak pretty much for an extra $20 in the dining room. And when my husband and I did the steakhouse on, I don't remember what ship it was. No, it was like $100 for the two of us, and we didn't even get a drink. So I'm like going, I just think that you could, pay the extra $20 in the dining room and get a pretty much the same steak if you wanted that. Otherwise, the steak that's on the regular menu that's included is pretty darn good. And my husband usually gets the salmon, and I mentioned in the vlogs, and I was really bummed that the pork chop was not on there. So I'm hoping the 7-day one has the pork chop, because I haven't had a bad one on any Carnival ship so far. And anyway, enough about my pork chop. The desserts were pretty good. They were kind of hit and miss. Some of the cakes were a little dry. Some of them were really like moist and fresh. And probably the best one I had was the coconut cheesecake. Oh, it was so good. And at the deli, that was one of my favorite places always. It always makes me think of like the late night snacks that my husband and I would do. And so some of these little things just bring back memories. And so I always like going to the deli. They did have an issue with, they only had one person there one night, the last night, and the line was pretty long. And so one of the people in line, we were talking and stuff, or several of us were talking, but one of them went and told one of the officers, and they went ahead and asked more people to come to kind of help with the line. And so it ended up going a little bit faster after that. But all is well. Deli is always just really good. And they have salted caramel chocolate cookies that are so good. I love cookies. I can eat them all day. So I didn't make it to Bonsai Sushi, and I didn't make it to Seafood Shack. But there's always next time. Okay, so that's that. All right, let me touch on Embarkation. Embarkation was super simple for me. As I mentioned, I had to go through testing there at the port, and I thought it was going to be outside or something, like in a tent or whatever. Like I'd get tested before I even went in, but that's not how it is. It's in one area inside the terminal. So they had me go in through security and then go in. Now the big thing with that is that make an appointment beforehand. I did it actually the night before. So I thought I'm just going to pay it. And so you make the appointment, you set it up, you set your time up, and then you pay the money. And it was $100. So, I mean, it was a lot, but I had literally at this point no choice. I paid the $100. And with that, it gave you, when you logged in, it gave you a barcode. Once I got through security and they walked me over to where I was going to get tested, then they looked at my stuff, and there was 2 lines. So I was in one line and walked pretty much right up. And then there was another line with a whole bunch of people in it. And those are the people that didn't make appointments. So they were sitting there on the phone, setting up their account and then paying their money, because they don't do the money there. You have to do it on the phone. Oh, that is the key to doing it at the terminal. That terminal. I don't know how it is at any others, but that particular one. And this is only good till the end of the month. I don't know if they'll extend it. I kind of hope they would, because in this situation, it actually worked out really well for me. And otherwise I would have lost quite a bit of money, I would think. But I really wanted to get on the ship too. And I didn't want to have to go driving all over LA to try to get a COVID rapid test last minute. So this worked out well for me. Ended up, you go up, check in with the girl, you go in, lady at the computer, she scans your code, They literally took me right down into the little stalls, did my swab. The girl was excellent. It didn't like go up to my brain. And then less than 10 minutes later, she said, go ahead and wait. Less than 10 minutes later, had a little text message, opened it up, said negative, showed it to the girl. She said, go to the little lady, not the little lady, but the person at the podium. And she looked at it. She stamped my boarding pass that I was checked, I was good. And then I had to go back out to get my luggage. So that was the process. It was pretty simple. And then the other one, when I came back in, I actually had to go through the whole process again of security, and I explained to them that I had come in and done the testing and this and that. And so they went ahead and marked all my stuff, and then I went through metal detectors. That's kind of how it is. You can't really film any of that. And then you get over to the check-in. Now, they're doing the facial recognition, so that part changed, as I mentioned in my video. Part that's changed in this terminal is that they have to have a picture of you for the facial recognition, and I just showed them my passport, and they took a picture of my passport photo. So that worked out fine. I think others were getting their actual picture taken. Oh, it's totally up to, I guess, the person that you end up with in front of you. If they're going to take your picture, whatever you do, whatever thing you're using. When I went on MSC, I actually had to upload a photo in my check-in process. So if they actually did that, if they changed their check-in with facial recognition for us to upload a photo within the check-in process, I think that would make it a lot faster in going through the terminal process. Because then you wouldn't have to wait in that line. I heard some people waited an hour. I did not wait that long. It went pretty fast. I think maybe 20 minutes. And it was pretty good around, because I was like, I don't have to go there. And she's like, yeah, you have to go there. And I'm like, really? Because I've never had to do that before, but that's what it was for. And so, but if they have you to where you can upload, that would be really good. All right. So that is that. Oh, and then I had to wait, which I've never had to do. Once you kind of get through, you go right on, and that's not how it is. I had to wait on my boarding pass. I had a number, like a boarding number, and I think it was like B3 or something. And so they told me wait until they call you, and I'm like, oh, interesting. I did not know that. In the past, you just went. And so I sat down and I waited. It didn't take long, 15 minutes. I had like a phone call that came in, like a work phone call, and I took that, and so it was probably like 15 minutes. And then right after that, like I hung up, and then they called like a minute or two later. So, but went up there. I do have to say about the Long Beach terminal, please be aware, if you have any kind of limitations with walking long distance or walking upwards, like hills, climbs, anything like that, ask to use the elevator, okay? Because the ramp is very long and upwards, and you just kind of go up and up and up and up, and it can be difficult for some people. It's even difficult for me at times because of, I have high blood pressure. So it is difficult for me at times, especially dragging your luggage. If you're dragging your luggage, you can't check your luggage. Just remember that it is, and that is not going to change. That is the same since they opened up this terminal. So, yeah. So anyway, so there's that. Let's talk about, the modernization of how it looks. It looks really nice. The main stuff is on deck levels 5 and 9. And 10 and 11, like the outdoor stuff. But 5 is kind of like your main, and 9 has your buffet, your pools on both the aft and the mid. The slide has the mid. In the aft up above, you have like your the mini golf, and there's some exercise equipment up there, the walking track, and the ropes course. I was going to do the ropes course. I never got to do it. And then now I noticed, now I could be wrong, but I never could figure out if we could get towards the bow. And I know some ships we can, though I was trying to figure it out. So I don't know. I maybe just didn't go out on the right deck. I don't know. But if you know, leave a comment below. Oh, and I made a mistake. I posted on Carnival Radiance Facebook page that the coffee bar was on deck 5, and someone corrected me, it's on deck 4. Well, I don't drink coffee, but I remember walking and I saw it, and it was in this angle, and I thought, oh, it's on deck. When I thought back, I'm like, oh, it's in deck 5 in a corner. But no, it's in deck 4 in a little corner, and they said it's kind of next to the it's like next to where the photos and stuff are. Deck 5 is cherry on top, and then next to it, someone said the arcade is there. I remember seeing all that, but it's kind of like it's 4 and 5. And the main thing is because I was going down to 4 to go down to the theater. The theater is in the front, and it's 2 levels, so I would just go down. I went to the top one, so I can't remember if it's 3 and 4 and 4 and 5. I think it's 3 and 4. But I went to the top one. I think it's 4 and 5, because I remember I went by the stores on deck 5. And so if you go in on deck 5, you're in the kind of the upper levels, and I like that seating better than being on the floor. So if you go in on 3, then, or 4, whatever it is, the lower floor, you're going to be kind of in more of the seating on the floor, so chairs on the floor, or they have more of kind of the old school Carnival seating, which is kind of more like I call like mini love seats, and those are really nice. I think it provides a variety for accessibility for all people of all sizes, and I like that. I like that they provide that. But the upper ones are more theater style seating with the the bottom piece that flips up, and then you have to put it down, and so it's literally more theater siding, but they're nice and comfy. They're very nicely padded. Everything was very nicely done. There's a bar down in the bottom for people. You had to wear your mask, but they said if you were sipping a cocktail or something, you could take it down, drink, and then you would put it back on. But they basically would stay at the beginning of everything that I saw in there, that you had to, it was a mask venue. And I saw the holiday show, and let me think, Soulbound, Rock Revolution, Love and Marriage Show, all of those were in there. There was maybe another one in there that I may have missed. So anyway, it's a great venue. And so let's talk about those shows. Let's talk about the entertainment. I loved the entertainment. I think this is probably the best shows that I've seen on a Carnival ship. And I say specifically Carnival, because I think NCL had more Broadway style shows and stuff like that. And I really feel that they kicked it up a notch. They were so good. And I really did enjoy them a lot. I didn't put big clips in. The reason is because I feel like you need to experience it yourself. So I wanted to give you like little tidbits, little excitement. And then you can go and experience the whole thing. But it has some great moments in the show. And both of them, the main shows. Of course, Love and Marriage is always just fun. They had a couple on there, it's been married 51 years, and it was just really nice. And in my last video, they actually had them come out and dance at the kind of like the our last night party. We're dancing, and you would see that in my videos, my part 3. Anyway, so they were on there, and then the holiday show was just fun for the kids. Santa coming out and the Grinch coming out, and yeah, it was just really fun. Captain made a little appearance. Well, it's always really nice to have those things around this time, especially if you celebrate this holiday, this season, which I do. Let's see. Other things was like trivia. I didn't go to trivia But I did go a lot. I went to the dancing things like the disco. Of course, the sailaway party is always like off the hook, fantastic. And of course, the night before, it was just really nice. I did like I said, I did miss going to the dining room where they have, you know, the kind of the end, the last song going away. So I kind of missed that. But again, that's okay. But all the entertainment was good. I do have to mention that I was not a fan of the comedy show. So after all of that good stuff, here is the one thing that is, I think, is a huge disaster. I have no idea why this would be okay. I didn't even get into the comedy room. You go in down this long hallway, and they have benches on this side and TV monitors on the wall. So on the wall this side, and there's some doors in between them. And you go down, and then apparently the venue's inside with a stage. Of course, I never got that far. And I went late, and I mean, it's okay, but I ended up, you know, sitting, they had me sit on that bench on the wall facing a TV on the wall, and that's how they wanted you to see the show. That's all fine and dandy for some people, but since I don't hear that well, I have to stay kind of really focused. And if people were all around talking, the entrance wasn't far from me. So the crew were talking to people coming up. They were, then a few minutes later, they were breaking stuff down and going in the doors and putting stuff away. And so it was clattering, you know, this hitting stuff to other stuff. And it was just kind of it was annoying, to be honest. And I stayed for part of it. And then I kind of heard a little bit. And what I did heard, I wasn't a fan of the comedian. I said this in my vlog. It takes me a lot to make me laugh. And some comedians can hit really good for me. And some I just find are just, you know, raunchy, atrocious, thinking what they're saying is funny, you know. And while some people may feel it's funny, I just, you know, there were just parts of it. And I have gone to over 18 shows, the adult shows, and they have been good. The people have been good. They've been able to pull it out with, you know, a little bit of, you know, risque, but not being raunchy. And I just think that's the difference. Oh, anyway, it was I was not so I wasn't a fan of the comedian. I wasn't a fan of the venue. I wasn't a fan of staring at a TV. I wasn't a fan of the distractions. It just wasn't, it didn't work for me at all. Oh, anyway, if I did go back to see a comedian on there, I would literally have to go early enough to make sure I am inside the venue and try it again. I did not see the other comedians, so I can't comment on that. The second one was named Russ, and I can't remember what the first one's, maybe Larry? Can't remember. But I didn't go see Russ. I just remember because I was like, oh, I need to go see this person. That's why the name still sticks with me. So anyway, that was the bad part of the whole cruise. So I did do a little bit of shopping. The shopping was pretty good. I did see in Stephen Pong's video that he wanted a ship model, and they didn't have any. And they told him around January, hopefully. So that may be like one of those, you know, cargo ships that are out there waiting to get in. Maybe they're bringing in those little ship models. I don't know. So hopefully it'll be in later on, but it wasn't available, I guess, on that trip. I did not go to do that. I went to get myself a hat, which I always do, and Letty a hat because she brought me back a couple hats, one from the Miracle, one from the Panorama. And so I wanted to make sure she had one for the Radiance. So when she goes on it, hopefully we'll go together, that we'll have our hats to wear. And I also did get a little shirt And then I got my husband a sweatshirt, and then I bought him the Groove for St. Jude. I got him a shirt for that because they're men's style and I don't wear a lot of men's styles. So I gave it to him. And then they did have a red Carnival Radiance hat, but it was in the packages, you know, with the shirt wrapped up. And they didn't have my husband's size in the shirt, so I didn't get the red hat, which I really wanted a red hat. But thinking maybe I'll be able to get that on the Mardi Gras. So let's talk about the Wi-Fi. I actually did really well with using the Wi-Fi. I had the premium Wi-Fi, which I had never used on Carnival before. I've gotten the regular one before, and it was crap. I'm just going to say it was crap. But I got the premium one. It actually worked out really well. I think it was like, I pre-purchased it, and I think it was like $45, something like that, for the whole cruise. Actually, I didn't think it was that bad. Now, an Instagram person I follow, which is Emily, she actually was saying that she was having issues with pulling the music up within the plan to be able to add for Instagram Reels. So she had a little bit of problem with that. I wasn't doing any of that, so I didn't have any issues. I was posting, and I was able to pull up other apps, and I did like a story, or several stories. I didn't really have any issues. So I actually did okay with what I got, the Wi-Fi. What I did notice is that I have the gold. I'm a gold card person. So that's my VIP level right now. And I was supposed to get my water and my PIN, and I never got any notification. I never got my bottled water. There was 2 waters in there, but you know, they have the little tag on them saying if you use these, this is how much it's going to cost. But I never got my water. Did I ask? I totally forgot to ask. And I never had a notification of where I go get my PIN. I saw on somebody's Instagram or something, I can't remember, a video, that they had to go and get it. And I think I've seen that on all the ships. But I never got a notification on where to go to get it. So that was interesting. I guess you just have to ask. Crew, always fantastic. Cruise director, Ryan Rose, phenomenal. He was off the charts, but I love Carnival cruise directors. They always bring the fun. They bring the energy, and I don't know how they keep it up day after day after day after day after day. I don't have that in me to do that. I need like quiet time in between all the energy. Anyway, so yeah, all phenomenal. My cabin steward was amazing. I think everybody was being very lovely. They were accommodating. I didn't have any issues with anything. Anything I asked for, it was provided. Like I didn't have any issues. Like I said, the one lady asked for the sauce, and they told her they couldn't bring it out till lunchtime. I don't know. I don't know, but I think they always try. I think all the crew on any cruise line goes out of their way to bring the fun, bring the energy, bring the excitement to the guests, and I think that's what's great about cruising. All right, so that is it for this video. If you have any kind of suggestions, tips, information, something I may have left out, please leave it in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and all the vlogs. I'll include this in the Carnival Radiance playlist. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a little like, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.